close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow through the we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow through the
You know, do something else. I feel like LGD is not a team to be like, all right, you got it, you get this. It's you know, LGD, they kind of bring something different too in terms of just like, I think they're one of the only teams in the region that really utilizes Enigma. But now that Necrobook good, I don't know if they'll go back to that. Oga definitely brings like a different feeling to this team. With Chalice in one spot, and Snapfire, that's a, you know, instant counter to the Phoenix Egg, but we seen less and less of Snapfire because of the fact that the Zero just doesn't feel, you know, as good with the nerfs and everything. It doesn't feel that great of a anymore. It offers you what, one egg?
Yeah, but new coming, right? Like there was almost like an instant counter pick. They had a plan. That must be menacing. Imagine if you're like, yeah, what should we? Let's go for Phoenix, and you pick, and then just instant picks fire. Like, oh my god! Like these guys are. I imagine like DK still in the pool. If like, oh, okay.
And that's so. I brought that up yesterday. We've only been doing this for one day. I was like gonna say the other day or something like that, but again, my days are meshing. I was talking about how they, what team was it Ehome that I was talking about? They really were liking the one position Visage.
Yeah, it was C-Deck were liking the one position.
Yeah, Ehome was playing it. That's right. And he was playing it and kind of like having this crazy build with it. Maybe LGD get a glimpse of that and they want to play it themselves. I'm actually going to take a look and see if they've done it themselves.
Last time this tournament ran, we saw Ehome play it as well, though, right?
Well, Ehome played it in the 3, where Faith Beyond was on it with the Innocence Grimstroke.
What's your way?
One of the reasons why we might see Visage more and more, like Helm of Dom's, you know, increase in popularity. So there's no reason to see why that wouldn't work with Visage, right? Like the natural Helm of Dom build, it gives you armor, gives you all stats, HP regen, feels really good as Visage. You get the creep to help you farm as well. And it has like just insane flex value about where it can be rolled, right? Like you were saying. Like Ehome played it as a 3 before, Armo played it as a 1 before, I've seen people play it literally all 5 rolls. So, you know, picking it up in the first phase of the draft, never a bad thing, and have the wing theme going on, so I can get behind that.
Yeah, so. Draft squad going on right now. Taking a look, GD did play the Visage in the 1 position against Vici. They won that game. It was a 2-1 victory over Vici in the series, and Chalice went 9-5-9. He went, I don't know what order this is in, so I'm gonna have to take a look, but it's Ags, Helm of the Dominator, Solar Crest going into like an AC.
Yeah, he'll go like Helm of Dom.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, that's what it was. It was Dom, Boots, Solar Crest, Ags, and then by the time he was trying to build the AC, he won.
That makes sense. Deuce about. Wow. See, I personally think this hero is going to go up like massively in popularity. I think Jenkins made a really good point in his most recent video as well about how the game slowed down a little bit with like the progression before.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the video or not, and I completely agreed in the sense that like these triumph farmers are just going to go up in like strength effectively, and this is one of the best ones, especially at taking ancient stacks as well, which is so much easier to defend because it takes so long to get there. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see it a little bit more than we did before, at least.
So even Elder Titan, I actually am taking a bigger look at that game with the Visage for LGD. They had gone mid Mirana in that game, so that's a little bit surprising considering the Miranas we've been seeing thus far from Ehome and others, which has been in the 4 position. But it was a mid Mirana that went 16-1-10, and then they went 5 Elder Titan, 4 Earthshaker, 3 Witch Doctor.
Ooh,
yeah, 3 Witch Doctor. Wand, Spirit Vessel, Jewels, Ghost Scepter, Mech, Arcane Boots, in that order. Interesting enough, that's okay.
I've seen some mid-Witch Doctor before. I've never seen some 3 Witch Doctor. I want to talk about this Pango pick because I'm not 100% sold on this. I mean, it's a strong hero for Ehome just in general. Right? Like, if they can fix it across, I mean, imagine Shinkyu, Faith Yan, nothing to say can probably play it. But it just gives them some good team fight as well, which they see this Phoenix, they're probably like, okay, well, we're going to need some team fight of our own. Like, Pango's just a solid flex pick for us. Legends are okay up against Visage as well. Like, Visage is this hero where it doesn't have a massively strong laning stage. But so at least Pango should be able to have a really good time in that period, right? Because Pango isn't the strongest laner either, all the time. You just suffer against some matchups, but against Visage, should have a relatively stable time.
Do you automatically lane this Visage safe lane? Not that Chalice is. You know, I don't think Chalice really moves his lane that often, but I'm thinking more like, would you put Chalice on the Visage, move him mid?
I see. Yeah, I mean, they can do, depending on like hero choices and things.
Ember Spirit.
So nothing to say back on the Ember, most likely. Obviously, Jinkyu has been to playing whatever, I guess. He just kind of does whatever he wants.
Interesting that they banned the FF just before and see as the not just like such a worry for in the laning stage, right? But it's also like super good with the Visage because you get the minus armor aura. So they're kind of covering both their bases with it, right? Oh my god. Okay, so they pick Ember Cottle, but this Nyx pick is so good actually. It's like insanely good against Snapfire, it's insanely good against Ember, and it's insanely good against Keeper of the Light as well with this Carapace proc. Like, the mana burn's super good against Pango and Ember as well. They just have some reliable lockdown, I guess, in the next one, but it's pretty reliable, right? The easiest thing to have, but you know, most of the time, you're going to be hitting those.
I think that Morphling changes this Visage to offlane.
I think it could still be mid though as well, and then they pick some kind of like team fight 3.
Yeah.
They could even play like 3 Nyx here as well. I just don't think it's awful. Or like 3 Phoenix with 4 Nyx.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So I wonder if they're looking at this and thinking like, is our Phoenix and like Nyx Visage support combo could be a little bit too greedy? They have these like this lineup comes online really quickly for Ehome at the moment, right? They have these 2 really mobile cores. They have the these almost like 2 enablers in the Snapfire and the Keeper of the Light. And one of them's probably going to build a mech.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like they need another egg hitter.
5 seconds
I think
remaining.
Snapfire though, right? Like,
But that's not a guarantee, especially when you've got like a Nyx assassin that level 6, you know, finds the Snapfire, or even a Morphling who finds the Snapfire.
yeah, I get that point, but like
Mars is
it's
still
so
available. I think if LGD went Mars, like, things it's so hard for the Snapfire just to get onto that egg.
true, but then like you have to remember at the same time, it's like if you draft your lineup to suggest that one hero is going to die straight away at the start of the fight, it's really difficult to draft a lineup. Like, you have to not imagine the worst case scenario or the best case scenario, but at least try to assume that people can get their spells off.
Yeah. I'm just trying to break it down in my head. Like, I'm just like seeing the fights in my mind.
I get what you're saying. They have a lot of burst damage as well, like Morph, Nyx, Visage,
Yeah.
etc. But if they pick the Snapfire to counter the Phoenix and the Snapfire can never press E to kill the egg, there's a problem with their
10
first pick then, right?
seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
And they banned the Lycan and the Phantom Lancers, so they were really getting rid of Sour's heroes, especially that Lycan. Like, yesterday I was so shocked that CDC allowed the Lycan, and there's Mars ban. Which I'm not too shocked about considering what they've got at the moment, but yeah, yesterday when CDC gave us the Lycan to Sylar, I was shocked. And they go Bat Riders, so control their aggression lane, I like that. And that doesn't necessarily need to be old Weapons hero, but it certainly looks like one.
Interesting as well. I wonder whether they want to flex the Batrock to potentially mid as well, depending on the matchup.
10 seconds
So, like, because if it's
remaining.
Ember mid, they could, you know, possibly put the Bat against the Ember. As well.
5
Sounds pretty good.
seconds
Because
remaining.
you just rip through the Flame Grab really quickly, right? if you really wanted. And you have that potential to just run him down. Obviously, chains is an issue, but so.
Is it nah, I'm like thinking in my head, is it worth going Legion at some point in this Ehome draft? You've already got Pangolier, who's most likely your offlaner, Ember, your mid. And I think I always just kind of come back to the fact that I see Legion mid for like Beast Coast, and that like really is ingrained in my mind where it's like, just because Chris Luck absolutely dominates with Legion mid. It's kind of disgusting. So when I think that, it's like good, nothing to say pull that off, but then you're pulling nothing to say off of Ember, which is probably his best hero.
Yeah, I'm. Tyler wants to play. Maybe like the problem is I need something who can lay against a Batrider as well, right?
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't feel like a slot game. It doesn't feel like a good jug game. Lifesteal is pretty awful here against Morph as well.
Would he even go for the anti-mage? And he goes Jug. I mean, it's not amazing.
I think it's like the best of what they could pick, though, right? Like, I was naming you some heroes. Jug probably looks like the best thing they could have picked out of all the options, and I just don't.
Lifestealer, but
then you give the Morphling a free rage.
Yeah, it's that Morphling pick just throws such a wrench because even now, like you've got that Jug, like Morphling can. I think he's got a couple of really good options here in all three cores, honestly, depending on the scenario.
So, worth pointing out as well that this Phoenix Visage is like such a greedy lane, right? They're playing at a 1 and a 5.
Yeah.
The Phoenix. And they're playing up against Faith Behind Pangolier. So I'm wondering how that lane goes. Like, I assume both the cores just end up being farm, right? Stop each other from farming, but they have big kill potential between the Pango and the Snapfire. Like a level 2, if they get the shield crash and the swashbuckle on top of the what's it called? Key and the Scatterblast.
Yeah.
Then it reminds me yesterday of the lane they did with the Morala, where they hit this level 2 and they're just insanely strong, and they just run up. Like Visage is the strongest laner, so it's gonna have full.
Looking at LGD's most recent record, they're actually 1-3 lost to SAG and RNG at Beyond Epic.
Flash of inspiration.
The last time these two teams, it might have been a long time ago. I would almost go as far as to say probably the last. Yeah.
Really?
No, it was Chinese Pro League. They OGD and OGD 2-0'd them.
So it's definitely the first game between these two teams on this patch, though, right?
Yeah. And they did meet during the time before that was the previous Dota pit.
Wow.
It's been a while.
I mean, I think we have to remember that these guys are scoring each other all the time, though, right? Which they haven't played each other in a while, but Ehome will know that this Phoenix is coming, right? So they get ready with this fire. They know that LGD like to pick it. I wonder where Nothing to Say wants to put his water in the mid lane.
I was liking when LGD was putting a ward here.
Yeah.
That was when that X Nova was like the only one I saw it taking advantage. I think it was more back here, but I watched that and it was just it was honestly, I started using that ward. I was getting complimented for it, and I couldn't even take credit for it.
It's because nobody in America buys wards in your post, so...
That is true.
Not where you placed it, that they were impressed to it.
I got commended just for getting the first ward, and it's free. It's, it's free comments on my profile.
Imagine tipping somebody for buying something that's free. Probably shows that he's never bought a ward.
The lane's pushing in, unfortunately, because that Blitzery level 1 and I would say even to level 4, that cooldown's kind of obnoxious.
But at the same time, right, like this Batrider can't really pressure until he gets a few more levels online.
Yeah.
Like, it's really difficult to kind of really go for it until you hit like 3, maybe like even 4. I think is the big one.
Interesting stun, making sure that Illuminate doesn't charge up too much.
He needs to hit this level 2 now, though, right, on the Nyx, so that he can just interrupt the Illuminate. Well, not interrupt it, sorry, but like stop the damage from going onto him and just reflecting it all back onto the comp anyway.
I find this Nyx captain too is like slowly becoming one of those heroes that when I think of FY, I'm like, yeah, I can see him on Nyx. Like, yeah, when I first saw him picking Nyx Assassin a lot, I was like, that's not really an FY kind of hero, because you think of that flashy Rubik style play, and then I watched him play a couple of games consecutively, and I was like, that, yeah, okay, that's an FY hero.
Yeah, but then you think like he plays like Tiny and a Shaker and stuff as well, right? Like the whole concept of it, although it's not the same, it can be similar.
It's better this way.
It's just one of those players that I think he's always in the conversation of who deserves a TI victory.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like every time the conversation gets brings up, like he's the first Chinese player that gets mentioned, I feel.
Yeah. And to me, at least, he was one of those guys who got me into Dota, competitive Dota, because he won at ESO1 New York back with Vici. Just watching him play, I mean, that team was so good, and I've been a fan of FYs ever since. Kel's getting beat up here bottom. Fire that PQ and Zikr dive first blood for the side of Ehome, and you can see though, just with a little bit more for the Visage, like Faith Beyond maybe doesn't get away with that because the Soul Assumption is hitting hard.
It is, but at the same time, like this is the burst damage combination that we were talking about, right? Makes TP back to base there as well to make sure he doesn't die to the jog. They're going to get a slow walk back, well, not very slow. Slow jog back with the wind lanes and boots. Oh, he's actually getting bot lane. Okay.
I kind of like that because with an extra stun, I think they get a kill. And spawn away, maybe even 2. And to be quite honest, Batrider, I don't see getting called out. He's got Firefly, he should be okay. Grab the courier under the tower too, and then Snapfire bottom burns out. So Soul Assumption comes in and Faith Beyond, and this has really become problematic for Ehome as it looks like they're gonna lose not one but almost.
I always think that the last tick doesn't happen just before the spell ends on the like the status thing.
Yeah.
You know, just above where the spells.
With Maledict, it's still the last like tick.
Yeah. Bot the Batrider now as well. So he's got jobs queued up. I was wondering whether people would still just end up going like boost travel a lot first this patch, but.
And this is the difference between Old 11's lane, Batrider we had seen previously yesterday. Was his lane's going really well, but yeah, bottom Faith Beyond Swashbuckle, he disarms the Visage, but Soul Assumption's right there, ready to go. And Soul Assumption's up once again, so Scatterblast will do a little bit of damage, but FY coming in, and Jinq, he ends up dropping an X Nova.
Is he gonna try and get the bounty on him?
Ooh, that's greedy. FY has a stun. Coming over, Swashbuckle with his stun though, the Ember, but yeah, FY loses his life. So just kind of the timing there. And he gets 6 of the Remnant, and he gets a couple of kills with this rotation.
Because he doesn't have a Remnant to beat, but he can TP back to base. He's gonna have to just go TP back to the mid lane here instead. That on the courier instead.
I'm very okay with that leaping top. Morphs into the Ember, slight chance. That's it. I was gonna say, I'm very okay with them leaving Hold over in your top because he's gonna get a quick sick. And having that lasso early on is really good. Ooh, bottom 50 on in trouble. Got sunray on him, trying to juke it out. X Nova, can he keep it on? No, he can't. Ooh, little dance there from Fabian. Jesus.
It's really difficult to keep the sun around him though because it's so close to him, but also the trees in the way. Like he doesn't steer him the whole time, so it's difficult to know when he's going to be juking. He's going to be hitting that level 6, so one creep away, almost has the helm got him as well. So this is the. I feel like you hit your first power spot like quicker now, obviously. Just how much.
Oh, Omni Slash on the old 11, but it was as he was TPing away. And it just
no bueno.
Inside it, like he started it as he TP'd out, and then the TP just he didn't have the damage, and then it was gone.
Oh, he actually went face groups as well. Okay. I mean, the obviously the turnaround and stuff is really big against the right. I kind of get that, but like at the same time, he just feels like he's like he's hitting pretty slowly at the moment. I feel like for a junk, right? So that's why he's going for these drums as well to help. So another item we're starting to see more of. Skylar might be in trouble here though. On
I think getting another career.
Oh no, that's an item for vintage. Please. Yeah, he's like, dude. Surely Visage wants the arcane room.
You'd like to think so, especially with how often he's using Soul Assumption.
Yeah. Oh, back. They can leave it to the Amber instead. Okay. That makes, or like maybe to the Bat Rider, I guess as well. It's pretty good.
Run. Yeah, they've also got the lasso top. Jug getting low. Faith Beyond dropping in. Or I assume TP'd out while they were going after Faith Beyond. They're putting a great. Right. Yeah, this is just the power of Visage early. Again, I don't understand why he's not going to take that arcane ring. Just you love to have Soul Assumption available at any time, and now Innocence dies to old 11. So it just again, it's pressure on both these side lanes.
Different.
They'll look over at Sylar to try and get this kill, and they're keeping the Centaur in front of Sylar. Interesting. They want to definitely.
That was a big fight for Sylar though, I think. That's like a huge rotation for him. Be able to get the Visage there is really important as well. You need to slow your game down as much as you can at this point.
Which, looking at his net worth, it's not even like he's towards the top. He's actually 11 higher, surprisingly, with Chalice, having a couple of kills here.
Oh, 11 is having an insane time this game on the Bat Rider. Like, he's 2-0-0 already, but the amount of farm he's getting.
Is he gonna go Boots of Travel after these drones? For sure. Oh no, wait, he's actually just picked up Boots of Travel. He was ground just a second ago.
He's gonna be so quick when he gets the drum, right? Like, it's gonna be El Rapido.
Already moving at 420 movement speed. Like, he's so fast already.
Well, it says 310 for some reason, but let's not even go there.
Yeah, he just bounced around F-fire there. This certainly feels like a Blink Dagger kind of game for the Pangolier. Again, you want to disrupt these fights, but I'm definitely accustomed to thinking that item is really good on Pangolier before anything else. Mortimer's Kisses, but how do you stop this TP? Okay, that's one way. Use the will Wisp. Continue to try and use everything you've got to kill him, and they will. And they'll finally take care of old 11.
Oh, nothing to say his Vessel just died from a career. That's huge. There's more. You can actually feel safe for another 3 minutes now, right? They're just going to go 3-1 tower because they know the Pango and everybody go TP'd away to kill the back right at top.
Looks like they're setting up to not hit a tower, but couldn't even come close.
Now they just have both two tier 1 towers down already. LGD holding all of theirs. they're starting to gain more and more map control, and this lasso top might be a problem soon for Faith to that.
Yeah, he just used Swashbuckle, and he doesn't have mana for it again, so he's just gonna die here to the lasso and Firefly.
And he kills the wave at the same time. Extra value. I like that. I'm wondering whether he finishes off his jumps here, if he just goes for a blink instead now, because he's having such a good time. But I feel like the blink would be really good up against the Ember, right?
Yeah, you know, as long as you can gap close and get that lasso, especially with a hero as elusive as nothing can stay on December, like, make sure you can lock it down. I wouldn't be opposed to getting that blink dagger. He's just farming so well. He's keeping up with the Ember. And that's good because Chalice didn't exactly, like, he had a decent start in terms of skirmishing and being involved in 5 kills, but other than that, like, you looked at his net worth coming out of the lane, and all of a sudden, like, he was 1,000 gold behind the judge. So I think Gold 11 being able to have that blink dagger and get aggressive early might allow Chalice some space.
Top lane, by the way, I think the Nick got seen under the sentry there by the quick wave at the same time. Stalking around up here, but he's not really going to find anything. I will say as well, by the way, I'm really surprised the fight hasn't played more points in comparison so far by level 7. I feel like a second point is really valuable. Obviously wants to max the stun as well, but like, just one extra point in the character is really good.
There's gold away. Yeah, he's got the gold for the blink dagger now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
He's gonna save both buy out at the same time.
Go Radiance instead. That's a real card play.
And then because he's only 1,050 off the drums.
Under attack.
Okay, it's such a pace, it's not gonna be that long till he gets that too.
Yeah, a couple of good fireflies, like he gets a killers on, he's like, well, I'm almost at pink now. Like, I might as well just finish it off, right? And Ehome finally going to get their first of the game, and then bot lane. This game's so much different to what we've seen for the other... Like, you remember the last series we saw yesterday between who was at C-Deck and Ehome?
Yeah.
Well, like, both these teams just wanted to farm up for quite a while in the game, right? Like, Silo was playing these... Well, Amd especially was playing these more greedy heroes, but Silo was playing them sometimes as well, but it feels like Ehome respecting Lgd more in the sense that they feel like they can actually pressure them like into having to fight earlier, if that makes sense. I feel like if they try to get greedy against Lgd, they might be in a spot bottom again.
Mortimer's Kisses, and all of a sudden Somnus Waveform has the vessel on him, but no, Rolling Thunder hits, and he's been controlled. He'll get the kill. For a moment I thought he might get out, but 4 heroes there is just more than he can handle.
Oh, he's got Diffusal blade. Okay. It's a pretty good Diffusal game, to be fair. Like, if you can ever take away the Phoenix's mana, like Visage's mana has, like, all the heroes have big mana problems, right? Like, even Morph as well.
Their mana pools aren't exactly that big.
So with every hit, like, Swashbuckle, you take away 160 mana, right? So it's quite a lot of extra damage. Because it's, is it 0.8 per... Yeah, 0.8 per damage.
A fly getting caught here under the towers, under the sentry ward. Fly gets back enough, it does come in to land on him. So all of a sudden they stun up December, and they've got the lasso, but this is this Lilith. So things turn around and look good for Ehome as they get the kill on a hold 11. Somnus and Nova may both reengage with the help of Chalice, but he needs to watch his positioning. Spirit Vessel onto Somnus, Light of Fits your team that hits onto the Ember. Chalice also doing Jinky, he's just outputting the kind of damage that he would like. He's been disarmed once again, Illuminate flies through do that much damage. However, they've got the bird to stun up, nothing to say. Sleight of Fist steering chains hits both the cores. Swashbuckle misses. Waveform to avoid the Sapphire cookie.
I almost felt like LGD was trying to make them into a fairly bad position there just so they could get like an egg off of the tower or something,
Yeah.
but both teams been really like disciplined with how... It's almost like there was an invisible line across the middle of them, right? Neither team wanted to cross. Like they're playing dodgeball, dude. That's like...
Right around like here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
you ever watch, what was that? There was a TV program once called, like, Extreme Dodgeball. I can't remember what it was actually called. It was so good. I used to love that as a kid.
I feel like I only remember like MXC or Slam Ball, which was just trampolines and basketball with tackling.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was the best thing. The Diablos, greatest team of all time.
We haven't seen it.
Old 11, really back-to-back deaths, and this is coming up with what was one of his best starts with this Bat Rider, and all of a sudden, like, things really slowed down. And I think he's chosen to go past the drums and just go straight BKB. It looks like it.
Yeah, I think the choice, like, as the game goes on, this trunk is less and less impactful, right? The use of fire spirits there by X-Saver as well. I don't know if you saw, like, just before he dived out, he used the fire spirit to check whether they had a ward on the high ground, which they do. The sentry down already. So going to be looking to get rid of that one as soon as he can.
Some more saturate the was. Stun hits. And now the Wisp is down. That lock of Chalice as well as Old 11. They've got Searing Chains too, so Old 11 in a lot of trouble as his Sapphire goes into Vendetta, tries to leave, but the Slop Buckle hits. They'll get that kill. Mortimer kisses short. However, it's not going to matter. And lock down Old 11 again, and they get the kill. Ehome, I mean, this has really been good for them. Just Sylar, who has slowly made his way top of the net worth by 1,000 over the Morphling. And maybe LGD were a little too quick to, you know, jump the gun on this and look to fight.
Just to say, put anything apart from it. I don't think I've ever seen him so good at it. Like,
I would say OD, but that doesn't get picked up as much anymore. And Chalice destroyed by Ehome.
how does this guy just keep getting to play Ember every single game we watched, right? Like, it feels like he always plays well, like, on this hero. And I'd personally be really surprised after watching the game if LGD don't consider us just battling it, like, next game.
It would make sense. And now they've got the Aegis up. This all seems like a really difficult game for LGD. And they were up a couple thousand net worth. Things were looking big for them. They tried to fight over mid a couple times, and Old 11's team gets shut down in a quick second. Not that, you know, he's doing horrible or anything, but he was really off the charts.
I think it comes down to this point you were talking about before in the draft, which is about this Will-O-Wisp, right? From the COP. Keep right. They're really struggling to deal with it at the moment. In these early stages of the game, they don't really have anybody that can just commit because they don't have BKBs, right? Like, and it's not just the Will-O-Wisp either. They have like Rolling Thunder to have to play into. There's Mortimer's Kisses as well. They just have a really good team fight on it in comparison for now. LG are kind of struggling to just find that fight if they really want to. Like, they line up so much better at getting pickoffs, right? Like, they have the Nyx, they have the Bat Rider. Ehome are doing a really good job of just not giving them the openings they need. And there's a BKB now on the Ember as well.
F1 kind of struggled to have any impact from this Nyx assassin.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Get these sentries
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
layered all over the LGD side of the map.
They didn't sentry get changed in the most recent patch as well, I think. Yeah, replenish cooldown from 90 to 85, so you can buy even more than you could before as well. It's a finish from the old here on Sylar as well with an extra 2 goals. I was worried about this jumping, but it's actually Valdas played it pretty well. It ended up being actually pretty good for it overall, like in this game. If it's healing wall allows him to sustain in the team, they're getting
Paso finally, but this is onto a Snapfire. Will-O-Wisp is there again, and this is going to disrupt the fight immensely. They look over at Chalice, they look north as well. Old 11 in trouble up top. Chalice disarm, they get the kill on the Bat Rider after he's already used himself that lasso. And Chalice is gone, Old 11's dead. Supernova on the back, but all they is the Aegis.
like they have a big problem. They can't use this Phoenix at all. Like, they're not able to get into a position to use the egg because of the threat of the Sapphire. We talked about it, right? Sapphire's great. It's like they tried to kill Jinky right at the start of the fight, so the Phoenix will
Get Meteor Hammer. That hit on the 3 heroes, and they all of a sudden got Sunray doing a lot. I'm gonna say he's getting low, but I don't think Somnus is gonna be able to accomplish anything, and he's just dead.
All of a sudden the grief comes out, and they're all like above half HP again. And now the healing ward is going to come out relatively soon. The healing ward's actually died.
At least a set of raft almost. It feels like in my mind.
Yeah. They just can't fight into this. No, it feels like this massive team fight.
Killing spree.
Oh, so next Nova is dead.
I mean, Faith Game just so much damage. It genuinely feels like the Visage and the Phoenix have done. I've seen them all game, is what it feels like.
They had a good start, and then all of a sudden, like, things shut down, and they took the fight to Ehome, and they lost, and then they never won again.
Well, they took these 2 early towers in the side lanes, right? And then after they just running around the 5, and then they couldn't ever fight into them.
They're swept up, and they're ready to fight. Swashbuck go forward. They disarm this Phoenix. Let's be able to get away.
Excellent for getting the dive off just in time.
And it's not to say that Chalice is heavily underfarmed or anything, but even with the items he's got, he doesn't feel like he's doing much. With the sword crest, I don't think they care about too much. Even with this axe, is that going to be enough?
It's not fun.
Rise again, Phoenix.
I mean, X7 is not even level 12 yet, and we're 25 into the game. Like you were talking about how they didn't have egg hitters apart from the Snapfire. Doesn't matter what their heroes are when the egg's only level 1 all game. Like, you can't ever effectively use it, right? Like that level 1 to level 2 egg is such a big jump in how effective you could place in fights, right? They've never found that. Falling further and further behind. They need to keep this more farming, right? Like, he has to keep, he's getting towards this SMI as well. It's and the Phoenix are the 2 big ones I'm really worrying about. So they're just not even in the game. Can they get Starlight? It's a pretty difficult kill.
With Innocence right there, I don't know how you get this kill. He'll just will it the second you go for a lasso, right?
I mean, more things TP'd away. This is...
Ooh, they actually find F1. Diffusal, Meteor Hammer. No chance he gets it off. He's just waiting to die, and Raytheon's got yet another kill.
Oh, they had the sentry down. I like this observer ward from Lgd though, by the way. I was this next to the dire bot.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to farm. Like when you're playing this push here for the tier 2 tower, like it gives you so much information.
It's Morphling 13,000 net worth, but not really feeling much of a presence from the Morph either.
I mean, it's like doing a decent amount of damage in fire things, but it's a supporting class.
But they get even the finishing blow on his Q. Yes, they can. So that takes the Greaves out of the equation.
Okay. I mean, that slows Ehome down. They're not going to want to fight here. The
Impale. Meteor Hammer. Still, like, where's the rest? They don't have a lasso to follow that up.
healing will just goes down. Okay. What I'll never understand is when healing wall dies, why does it still heal for like just under a second? The effect still goes for a little while.
Active it dying, I guess. Going for BKB. Sanas, Faith Beyond, going to the back, hitting all zeros on the side of LGD. Sylar taking out one of the familiars, so only one survives for now. Amd Sapphire on hold 11. He'll back, goes onto the familiar, so evaded by old 11, and he's going to be back to base. So looking for FY, who's digging with his shovel. At least gets the TP, but okay.
I was hoping they'd steal the TP as well, just for the extra value. Ember has Ags coming out in the career now as well, which is going to absolutely tear LG to pieces at this point in the game. Like, this morph's BKB is now down to 8 seconds. Yeah, and like the first 2 uses, they've just achieved nothing from right. Big problem. Like, this was supposed to be a big power fight for them all. You'd actually just fight into them all the time. Doesn't happen like that at all.
It's an odd build from Morphling overall, but Morphling Kiko is next.
Turn into a white damage. It's not a really bad game because the truck can spin it, like the Emperor's flame bar as well. More right foot damage.
Tower has fallen.
Faith Beyond is going to as well in his inventory. I've all composed an Aeon disc, but it's just waiting to combine it for the moment.
You don't want to pop her over and have it on that long cooldown.
So like the first usage is always the important one, right?
Final 11. Up the BKB gets the lasso on the Ember, but Faith Beyond immediately into the Rolling Thunder. They have the lockdown. Nothing to say gets low, but not enough. And Mortimer's Kisses comes in. Hey, Will-O-Wisp is down. That hits X as well as FY. And all of a sudden, full step back into it. Oh, wow.
This is with the big great plays.
And again, now they just don't have the edge. Don't have much to go up against this.
Visage Bird used to do less damage on every single hit.
They do quite a bit right now. You would love for them to be level 3 though.
Oh, especially because he has Ags. I was going to make a joke before about no, he has Ags, at least he has 3 birds instead of 2 that are doing nothing for him. Like, it's just, I don't know, I feel like we haven't seen anything from the Visage game. It's just existed. And the stuns are a bit annoying.
Do the Visage birds level up automatically, or do you have to re-summon them after?
I actually have no idea. I hate this hero with a burning pack.
It's a question for God. He loves that hero.
You used to have to re-summon them. I don't know if you still do though.
Forward. They're looking for the familiars. Actually get themselves a kill on the innocent. He'll fly back immediately. It's not like he's got Will for another 30 seconds. They go to the back on BKB being caught by Sonic. A decent spot for the Supernova. And that is a really great spot. They will get the kill onto Shadow. And finally, they finish him off. Soul Assumption coming in. Faith Beyond puts together the Aeon Disc, which gets popped. Star had Omni Slash. He just needs to be careful. These familiars make it difficult for him to land a good one, but now that they're dead and, well, maybe it's more likely that he can get in on this, but the respawn is just 2 seconds away, although I believe Chalice will wait on that until he's got level 3.
Remember though that they swap their spells upon him, so they're going to want to chase some more, whereas LG don't really have anything.
Now they've got Will-O-Wisp, so certainly a reality, but so if they could just hold for 35 seconds, maybe they get that one once more. Remember, Chalice getting a lot of damage. Unsuch comes in, he's getting low, he'll end up dying. And he's only dead for 53 seconds, but that is more than enough time for Ehome to back off and go towards Roach.
They're just going to head straight in.
Yeah.
Why not? Nothing to lose. They did buy back from the Sapphire on the... No, sorry, just on the Keeper Eye, didn't they? Sapphire's just respawned again.
Double damage.
Old level with the BOTs to the Visage Bird here, though. There's lasso in 2 seconds.
Meteor Hammer. Done for the continue to stay locked down. BKB's will be popping nothing to say. Early BKB, although having the lasso as well as blink available, but due to Finder's positioning, Nova, Supernova, popping 15. They got Molesto onto the Ember. They get the nothing to say. Now they look over feet beyond, but he rips through FY. BKB's not going to last much longer for Somnus. They've got Chalice up in just a second. Sylar committed to go for this Roche. He's got a D, but it's only got a little bit left. Oh, the Fire Snap cookie. So unlucky for X-Nova as he comes into the pit. But well timed, I think, by Jinky to put that together.
For sure, and it reminds me of when people like pre-lay down ice paths and stuff, right? Like people fish just before the rush starts as well. So that cookie timing was incredible.
These fights aren't awful from LGD. It's just they're behind so much, and you know they have to use everything to get a couple of kills. Whereas Ehome and find a little bit more successful less. There's the impale, meteor hammer. Damage onto Sylar is not nearly enough.
It feels like LGD are doing a really good job of kind of like baiting them into a position where Ehome didn't really want to be. They're kind of backing off a little bit. Remember that fight we talked about before? And Ehome kind of go a little bit too far, but the fight just kind of splits up a little bit. And then Morphling almost like take them off one by one. And it starts them to fight into this like big will-o-wisp advantage that they have on Ehome. Yes, equally on that way.
Just waiting for his opportunity to go with the lasso, but now they're kind of split up, and Old 11 doesn't find anything with it, so he forces his BKB, and now he's back. Finally, that 18 hits, and I need to resummon, I believe. So he's not going to have that the level 3 resummon for another 100 seconds.
It's still definitely worth it though. Make sure you get that upgrade ASAP.
Well, no, he doesn't. He had resummoned and then hit level 3, so he's not going to have the level 3 bird until...
Oh, I see. I mean, I see how it works. We'll have to check next time you use it.
Pretty sure the birds say 40 damage still, so... again, some things just don't update. I'm not sure.
I mean, it still tells you the back runners. Here's
the last on to Sapphire. Quick kill.
Offs a pick up. Take that.
How many times
they need to try and get out? They need to try and get onto the map and gain some kind of map control back here, though. Like at least get some vision down, or like try and be able to farm up a little bit more of the map here.
If you find Faith Gun, it'll be alright, but it gets into the Rolling Thunder.
I love the animation of this roll. So good.
I'm a big fan of the Rubik's stolen block Rolling Thunder.
Does he have Satanic? Oh, he has Heart on Pango, right, okay. Oh my god. He's so tanky. 29 armor as well, 27. So like, it's just, like, it's such effective HP as well, right? Because he has such high armor as well. Like, he's got Paladin sword, so like, healing gets amped up as well.
No meteor hammer, swashbuckle and distance pop. They've got the sword crest, but on the low ground is FY. He needs a way out of this one, but he won't find it. He's got buyback. BKB's popped by Sylar. That's a 10-second BKB. Fury. Buyback, they've got the last onto the Ember today, the damage to kill him immediately. The Will-O-Wisp comes in, so now the problem is nothing to sing. It's out of the grasp of the lasso, and Remnant's back. BKB is there. Mortimer's Kiss is coming in. Thomas in trouble. Old 11 as well as Chalice falling low. Down goes Old 11. Down goes Tom. There's the buyback, but problems are coming for LGT. Now X-Nova has to back off. Still is the Supernova, but this is not the best spot for him to just be throwing it. They're gonna lose this set of racks over mid. And LGD now down against the bottom lane. Why? Alright. I'm getting low. Waiting for forward. Thomas in the tree. Dashes strike me to cheese. Morphs into this jug and then immediately uses that Blade Fury. They just don't have the damage to really kill them, especially with the sustain that Ehome have. And they've been here so long, it's another charge for the BKB of Sylar. Sonics again into the wait period again. Skylar continuing to move forward. Still 7 seconds until he gets to that Omni Slash elbow, but they'll get the first off out of his hand. Slash is coming up and across the BKB. Rook their challenge. He did buy back. He's dead for 90 seconds. And now, Noob, well, destroy nothing to say. They'll get the kill there. He's dead for 107 seconds. They've got creeps pushing in out of the tier 4 towers. They've got the Yule to stop that TP right next to the base. Swashbuckle on the run. Chalice controlling his familiars with the help of the rest of the team. Somnus kill, and they'll take out 2 without buyback. However, it's megas for Ehome.
Great fight for them. Like, the package just start diving base, but it doesn't matter as long as they finish off the racks. Like, they could be dead for 80 seconds here. It just doesn't matter. They still have 2 tier 2s up as well. Like, LGD aren't going to be able to win the game. There's a lever in base now. Base. They're just taking it off to keep with the line.
And also, they had a Timeless Relic.
Ooh.
Actually, LG don't have all their tier 3 items yet.
I mean, they just haven't been able to get on the map. Though.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise, I don't think. There's a nice little flicker for the dire side for whoever wants to pick that up. Could be a good Pango item potentially.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Here. So Chalice is up and
Tower has fallen.
has those level 3 familiars. It felt like he was doing a bit more, but again, he's finding himself out of position too.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I just, it feels like LGD have just been slowly like, it's not even like they've fallen off a cliff, they're just slowly getting pulled into the, like pulled off the cliff. It's just, it's been happening like, just ever so gradually as the game goes on. I've been saying that they're just falling further behind, and the full thing it takes are hunting.
Ooh, the Will-O-Wisp committed. Get a fly. And they've got the Hex. They have Hex on the Coddle for Innocence, and Jinku did the Somnus Omni Slash used. Or no, it was the Swift Slash.
Here comes Ember.
That's fine. I did not realize that Jug had picked up that axe. Got Swift Slash available now.
That's a cheeky Swift Slash. It's so annoying every time you cast Jug and first Swift Slash gets used. You're like, oh god.
Just used Omni Slash. And from there on out, you're just like, you don't say the word. You just say, oh.
Yeah, 'cause you never know which one it is.
Right on the challenge. They got the lasso. Alright, damage there. They can kill the Emperor. He's got that one immediately used it. Super no! Sylar! Oh, he's dead for 90! The kill! They're gonna walk in faith behind! Oh dear, Ehome. They are on the run and losing numbers. Innocence now with the invis. Now the damage, and now nothing to say with the BKB. Old 11's dead. He'll remnant away. Yes, he gets that, but he bought back. This is going down though. RPD.
Probably should try and deal with the catapults. They have to repair kit the last before. Alex is trying not to get surrounded by creeps.
Oh god.